Hello there and welcome to my YouTube channel, Climbinator 1978 or 1978, whichever way you want to pronounce it. Today we'll be reviewing R.O.T.O.R, or is it R.O.T.O.R, from 1987, which is a rip-off of the 1984 classic sci-fi film, The Terminator, but not actually, or at least not directly, a rip-off of RoboCop, as the initial stage of filming took place in 1985, according to IMDb. Now, as you can see, judging by the poster and box cover for the video, this looked proper badass. Sorry to disappoint you all, but this movie is not. It is really, really bad. But it's so bad, it's actually funny to watch. And in some countries, it's known as Blue Steel, which is the recent version of this film I watched. In fact, I literally just finished watching it about 20 minutes ago. But this movie, it just gets funnier and funnier on each watch. Anyway, R.O.T.O.R, or Blue Steel, to describe the movie is like, it's like all the alcoholic drinks you've had in your life mixed into one drink. It's just, what the fuck have I just watched? Oh, God. It's cheaply made. Literally, it looks like it was made on just $10. But I got these pictures, by the way, from IMDb, Internet Movie Database. So don't blame me if the quality is not that bad. Not that good, sorry. Because it is how the film looks. But the thing is, right, the version of the film I saw actually looked surprisingly good. It was in high definition, and it looks like it came from the Blu-ray version of the film. But this movie does not care for consistency. When it comes to consistency and timekeeping in the film, it puts its finger up at it. When it comes to continuity, both fingers go up at that. Oh, God. There's a scene in the film which involves what's been described as a magical newspaper on Cinemassacre. And I haven't even got to describing what the film is about yet. Basically, the film is about this police detective scientist, who is developing a project called Robotics Observation Tactical Observe Research Reserve, whatever, i.e. R.O.T.O.R, being the acronym. Therefore, it was going to be a cyborg cop that would be made in the future. But he is fast-tracked by his boss, who has been fast-tracked by his boss, to bring the project out 25 years early. Oh boy. So, yes, you actually see what the exoskeleton looks like, and I will get to that at a later point in this review, because my god, it is bad. But first of all, I'm going to go on about how I came across this film. About 5 years ago, I was channel hopping one night, and, just before I went to bed, I thought, you know what, I'm going to see what's on late night cable. Oh, a film called R.O.T.O.R. And, it said it stars Richard Guesswin and Margaret Trigg. A woman is hunted down by a cyborg cop. Anyway, onto the prelude text. Our objective was to build the perfect cop of the future, a machine programmed to overcome any obstacle. Yeah, good luck with that one. To combat the crimes and corruption which threaten the very existence of our society. Yeah, he didn't do a good job of that, I can tell you. But something went terribly wrong. Yeah, this film came out. See, I could have made a better job of writing this. If you want my honest opinion, this would have been my pretext of my take on the film. In the year 1987, a greedy tactical bastard decided to actually make his own cyborg cop. He was fast-tracked by another greedier bastard. Yeah. And they brought it out 25 years early because they hadn't thought it through, and all they came up with was a fat, overweight bastard who couldn't think for thought. But something went terribly wrong. He went on a healthy diet and became Slim Jim and became a librarian. Yeah, that would have made this at least more entertaining. But no, we got what we got. And I'll tell you now, this is just a tease for what the exoskeleton of the cyborg looks like. Yep. It's not looking good, is it? But, yes, as I was saying previously, I was channel hopping and I thought, oh yeah, woman gets hunted by a cyborg cop. Definitely a rip-off of Terminator and RoboCop, and would you Adam and Eve it got released in the same year as RoboCop. But I didn't know that the first bit of filming happened 2 years prior. I only found that out recently, to be honest, on IMDb trivia, where apparently it was originally intended to be a comedy, which actually does make sense, considering that the tone in this film is massively uneven. Like, the original script for the film was apparently meant to be a comedy action film, but most of the comedy got phased out and it just became totally unbalanced. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah. R.O.T.O.R is one of those films that, if you like bad movies, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. You need to watch it. It's Dr. Climinator's remedy for dullness. Because this movie, it's ticked all the check boxes for basically, any bad film completion list. If I sound like I'm stuttering, it's because I'm still in amazement about how this film got made. But yeah, it's one of those films where it's told in flashback. It starts off at the end of the climax of the film, and it's all in flashback. Yeah, oh boy. And the thing is, you sat there thinking, during the really dull parts, you're thinking about everything from how the hell did this get made to all the mistakes you've made in your life and how you would rectify them. Everything from, how did I come to watching this, to past relationships that went wrong. But anyway, this movie starts, and as I say, it starts at the end of the climax of the film. It's in flashback, and the protagonist of the film is known as Dr. R.O.T.O.R. And he's a scientist who looks more like Dirty Harry from the Dirty Harry films. And he gets arrested, despite being the hero. He gets arrested because a couple who are driving along find him over the body of a woman who's barely alive. She's the female protagonist, by the way. Sonia Garrett, played by the late Margaret Trigg, sadly. She's actually the best performance in the film when it comes to serious drama. She's not bad in this movie. R.O.T.O.R, played by Richard Gueswin. Christ almighty, I mean, the dude deserves an Oscar for the most random, over-the-top lines, scripted ever. And I think he was the person who partly wrote this. I mean, one of the lines that he says in the film is, "If you fire me, I'll make more noise than two skeletons making love in a tin coffin." Right. This dude should be in Broadmoor. But anyway, yep. R.O.T.O.R, pictured here, is the protagonist, the Doctor, who looks like Dirty Harry, with a bit of David Soul from Starsky and Hutch. And you'd think most of his scenes would at least be exciting. They're not. Most of them are scenes of him taking phone calls, so it comes across as being like a BT advert. I mean, I know their slogan used to be, "It's good to talk, but Christ almighty." If you take one of the BT adverts from the day and turn it into a feature film, that's putting your entire audience into a comatose. Anyway, R.O.T.O.R comes up with this idea of making a cyborg cop, and it goes online 25 years too early, meaning he only understands basic human emotion. And of course, the cyborg is a police officer, meaning that when he encounters people committing the basic offences, he shoots them on sight, which is what happens to the lead female protagonist, Sonia Garrett's fiancé in the film. And he strangely looks like Phil Hartman's character from Jingle All the Way. And yes, I do know about the sadness of Phil Hartman in real life. Yes. But I'm just saying he looks like him. But the character of Sonia Garrett's fiance is a complete jerk anyway. So when he dies on screen, I'm like, good on you, R.O.T.O.R, good on you. And to be honest, Sonia doesn't even look all that bothered. She's more bothered about R.O.T.O.R going after her throughout the second half of the film. And can you honestly blame her? I mean, there's a hilarious fight in a diner between R.O.T.O.R and these three truck driver types who all of a sudden know kung fu. And he just absolutely floors them. Yep. He just wipes the floor with them. Including the third truck driver who looks like he's, about the size of a tank. But the hilarious part is that when you look at R.O.T.O.R's exoskeleton, he's clearly, it was clearly a Meccano model that was filmed against a black backdrop in front of a camcorder. And it's just stop motion. But anyway, Barrett Cold Iron teams up with his companion, Dr. Steele, to track down R.O.T.O.R before he gets to Sonia Garrett, who is like the version of Sarah Connor. And it was whilst I was watching it this time, I realised the amount of the amount of merchandise selling there was in the film. There was so much product placement in the film for Coca-Cola and Diet Coke. Literally, in the diner scene alone, there's about 3 or 4 Coca-Cola signs and cans in that one scene alone. And when I looked at Sonia's clothing, she has a red cardigan and a white jumper underneath it. And I thought, yeah, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. Oh, boy. You've literally made Sonia into a walking Coca-Cola bottle. But literally, you could just say the whole plot revolves around a can of Coke, which I'm sure most of the producers were on at the time. The thing is, though, when it comes to our main bad boy here, R.O.T.O.R, you think he'd be a big, towering cop, right? He actually isn't. He's an average height, middle-aged geezer, overweight, yeah, and looks like Ned Flanders. To the point where when I hear him speak, I expect him to say, "Howdy, neighbour. How you all doing? Oh, by the way, I'm going to shoot you all now. Hey!" I'm like, fucking hell, will this guy just, Also, if you're wondering what the number 222 means, according to the Old Testament, it's actually the calling card number for the devil. So yeah, I sat there thinking, I get it already. He's the representation of evil. Oh boy, this movie. I think this film may have actually destroyed me. But the thing is, I'm going to make it an Easter tradition to watch this movie. Anyway, the first half of the movie is all about building up the hype to R.O.T.O.R being built and him escaping. The second half is R.O.T.O.R simply chasing after Sonia Garrett. And what does it amount to? Does it amount to a big showdown in, some big building somewhere? A chase that will make you think, oh my God, is he going to get her? Is he going to get her? Is he going to get her? Nah. All it is a showdown right next to some abandoned farmhouse. And they're fighting it out on the greenery. Now, you think to yourself, all right, well, at least we'll see a fight. A fight between good and evil. No, we hardly even see that. Because what the camera focuses on is Dr. Cold Iron sees Sonia Garrett about to be shot. Dr. Steele is the one, she's the one who is about to take down R.O.T.O.R because she shoots him in the back, and when he's injured, Sonia runs for it, as she would have been shot otherwise on a boat. And by the way, she was stupid enough not to untie the boat first before getting into it, leading to R.O.T.O.R catching up with her. And therefore, she ended up in the predicament she was in. But thankfully, Dr. Steele found her and shot R.O.T.O.R in the back, leading to Sonia escaping. Yeah, I felt I had to explain that first. Anyway, while Sonia is running away, Dr. Steele gets R.O.T.O.R in the back, and the two of them begin to fight it out in the river. But then they both make it to land. Sonia Garrett makes it onto the land furthermore, and Dr. Cold Iron gets a hold of her and takes her over to the front of his car and says, "Are you injured? Are you injured?" As he checks her over, the camera focuses on him checking her over, whereas in the background, that's where Dr. Steele and R.O.T.O.R are fighting each other. Yeah. Camera focuses on Sonia Garrett being checked over by Dr. Cold Iron and not on the actual battle in the background. Anyway, the film ends with R.O.T.O.R being blown up. Dr. Steele is dead. And the film catches up to present day at that time. Dr. Cold Iron basically says that's how it all ended. Now, all of a sudden, the detectives believe him. They say he's free to go. Cold Iron is out in the car park, and he gets shot by his boss. Yep, Cold Iron gets shot in the car park by his boss. Sensible thought, isn't it, you moron? His paperwork goes to his nephew, and they leave it open to R.O.T.O.R 2, which involves the reincarnation of Dr. Steele, or at least that's what it was teasing. R.O.T.O.R 2 never happened, thankfully, and if you're wondering why I've got a picture of a cup of coffee up here being made, it's because it's Dr. Cold Iron making himself a cup of coffee up here early on in the film. The cup of coffee has more character development than any other character in the film. So I wish, in a way, that a reboot had happened a few years later and it was just focusing on all of the events in R.O.T.O.R from the perspective of this cup of coffee. Yeah! I mean, Christ's sake! Also, when I saw this scene just now, earlier on, I noticed the amount of pills Dr. Cold Iron has to take. There's literally about 7 bottles of pills that he clearly takes on a daily basis. And it seems like he takes them before he goes to work. This movie sucks so much. It is going down to a new level beneath the Dungeon of Doom called the Dimension of Hell. I mean, this is like the lowest of the low when it comes to movie making. I mean, I have seen some bad movies in my time, but this, it's beneath incompetence. Christ almighty, I mean, you could make an entire movie with a bunch of socks, yeah, and the special effects would still be better than this crap. R.O.T.O.R. So bad it's funny. Oh. The level of hell it goes to. It's just, I cannot believe it exists. I really cannot believe it at all. But it does. It does. And I wouldn't even wish this film on my worst enemy. But it's totally defeated me. Anyway, this has been another YouTube review for you all. I hope you all have a nice day and a happy Easter. And as I say, if you see this film, remember it's called R.O.T.O.R, or in some places, Blue Steel. Remember, it's a baffling film. And I think in the Blue Steel version, there are some extra shots that are not in the R.O.T.O.R version. So, hope you enjoy.